Hey, so I don't get stabbed to death. My name's Rick Lee.
This is the farms, it wouldn't be stabbed.
My name's Rick Lee. I'm running for the board at the next election. I'm one of the ones without any etiquette or whatever. I've had property on the other side for a long time, and I now lease property over here. I do like it out here. I'm not changing my address after the election. You can count on that. The other great question that was brought up was why somebody would want to do it. And I think the big thing is to be impartial and to be able to represent multiple sides. And people get into different things, whether it's a road pavement or not. And I made it painfully aware, I don't care what somebody wants to do. I want to do it efficiently, effectively, cost effectively, without as much nuisance as possible, and work together as a community, no matter where you live. And from what I've seen here, the guy in the black shirt here should run for office next time too, because he did exactly what I was talking about, where there was a meeting in the middle where somebody had an issue, somebody saw something from a different perspective and a different point, and everybody was able to come to a conclusion. And as far as the destination goes, I agree pretty much with most of the people, even though how to get there might be quite different, even with Mr. Hinkle. I think he's a great guy. And, although we don't agree, like I say, on how to get there, I think our final destination is, very much the same. And I also applaud him on the effectiveness, because I was unaware on the how much more effective he was able to make it and efficient, like with the mowings and the crossings and things like that. So, not that he's done a bad job. I feel that everybody should have a choice, and that's why I put my name in the hat.
Still got 3.5 minutes. Questions and answers? Well, hopefully.
Are you for paved roads or dirt roads?
I don't have a preference either way. My job as a board member is to not care.
Okay.
If you and everybody on your road wants to pave your road, my job is to help you do that, do it effectively, maintain it as cheap as possible, get it done as cheap as possible, at the same time as high quality to meet the standards with the least amount of imposition to everybody. That's my job. My job would be, if you want dirt roads, to maintain dirt roads. And to give a perfect example of that, and I've discussed it with Mr. Hinkle and Mr. Dillon as well, I have property in Palm Beach Country Estates, both on dirt roads. One of them I would like to keep on a dirt road. Unfortunately, it's getting paved. The one that is on a dirt road I would like to see paved is going to stay dirt. That's the way the votes went, and that's the way they go. So even as a board member, even owning property, one on one and one on the other, my job is to not care. My job is to represent you, whether you live in Jupiter Farms or Eager Landing or Palm Beach Country Estates, as much as I can. Yes?
Do you agree with their rule where they only, the majority of those who vote on that side, is that called the east side? Let me get this straight. Are they the east and we're the west?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the east side, just 3 people on a road of 10 vote and 2 say yes, then it gets paid. Do you agree with that?
It gets confusing because when I first looked at that, I said, this is the most horrible thing. How can 3 people on a street of 10 make other people do stuff that didn't want it? Well, if you didn't want it, one answer is to vote for it. Because if everybody votes, then you don't have that discrepancy. The trouble that I have saying, look, you have to have the majority of every single landowner in every single circumstance, and I've discussed this at length with people on the board that are there now, and they also don't agree every single time that that should be the case either. Because you run into a circumstance, like I said, I've got a road that's going to get paved, and whether I want it or not, but let's just say there's 6 houses on a street, and 3 of them are in bank foreclosure. They're not going to get the vote. So somebody from the state could say, hey, if you guys vote to take your property taxes away for the next 3 years, and you wanted to vote for that, that's a great thing. I think everybody wants to not pay the property tax. Well, you wouldn't be able to get it even if you wanted to, even if the other 3 people that lived on the street said, yeah, we don't want to do that, because the other ones are in foreclosure. The banks, if they even get the mail, are not going to vote. So there's some strange circumstances that make me not want to fully say you always, every single time, need to have 51% of the actual landowners, because most people, in every election they've ever had here, most people don't vote, and that's the problem. So, do I like it? No. Do I know a perfect system? No, but I'm open for suggestions, and that's part of what being on the board is to take those suggestions, if anybody has them, and try and implement them.
So
Make
you
them-
are for the majority of those that vote? Is that, you
On the
agree
east,
with that?
on the east side, I think it works for them, and as it has in the last.
But you're running as a west side.
Right, that's why I say, and it's not that way over here, and I'm for the way it is over here. At the
So
last,
you're for two different types of...
yes, which is what we did at the last select, that's what we did at the last board meeting. They separated it on
But
purpose.
you don't live here yet? You're gonna live
No,
here?
I live here right now. I have
Oh,
my,
you do?
I get my mail 9303 167.
Where's your homestead exemption?
But actually, it's a lease, so I don't have a homestead exemption for it.
Okay.
But do you actually live here, though?
Yes.
You're physically in the house?
Yes.
You have a homestead
Somebody else
in Palm
lives in
Beach
the other
County?
I'm sorry?
Somebody else gets.
I rent property out.
You're renting it?
Yeah, and so I have 2 properties there, and I'm gonna own a 3rd one here. Just find.
You're in real estate?
Yes.
You have
Susan.
a homestead exemption in Palm Beach County?
I'm sorry?
You have a homestead exemption in Palm Beach County?
Yes. I have to homestead one of my properties or I waste money.
It's in Palm Beach Country Estates.
I have 5 properties in Palm Beach County, sir.
But you don't own any Jupiter Farms, you're just leasing?
will.
No, he's leasing.
I will be owning a property, and the other thing, like I said, as far as running for the board, if you read the bylaws, the very first thing is I'm donating 100% of my salary uptake from this position to, if everybody wants to vote on it, that's great, I'm sorry. I gotta take her question, she's been,
Yes, I'll tell you a better way. A better way is a democratic way, and a better way is for unity of our district. We have a very small special district. There are only 4,000, a little bit more than 4,000 home sites in the district, and splitting us because of a canal is absolutely asinine. We need to have a whole district. Our supervisors need to reserve the rights for everyone. Not only is 35% a ridiculous number in order for a petition to go in and have the vote happen in the first place, but every landowner out here has the right to have their voice completely heard
I agree.
when it comes to being tax increase. You do not agree. You think that the east side should have less rights than the west side.
No.
How is that fair?
I don't think that the east side
Yes,
should have much.
no. Your statement was that you agree that the east side should continue along their way so that the majority of the ballots that get returned win. While you think on the west side, it's the majority of the landowners that vote that determine a win. That means you're giving less rights to the east side than to the west.
That's not-
How is that fair?
That's not what I said.
That is what you said. You said the east side should be the
I
way
said
they
it
are,
worked
and
for
the
the
west
last
side.
election. I said to them, I said, I
It
think
does
there's a
not
better
work
system.
because it is not fair, and we have been fighting this system for 15 years, Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I agree with it.
You agree with the system as it is.
I
You
think
just
that,
said you agree with it.
I agree that the decision that the board made last time to make it different on one side than the other, I think that was a good decision by the board.
So you
Our people
agree that
voted
the east
for it.
side has less rights than the west.
That's okay, that's fine.
That is exactly what you
No,
just
it's
said.
not rights. I don't look at it as
They
rights.
have less rights for determining their own property tax. That is exactly what you
It's also not a
said.
tax.
It is an assessment, excuse me.
It's not a tax.
So it's an assessment that comes on your tax bill.
Right, if you vote, if somebody...
It's an assessment that comes on your tax bill.
Right.
Which people interpret as a tax. So I
Right.
think my words could be given a little leeway there.
Right,
And you're saying that the east side should be allowed that the scenario of the 10 people with the 2 people deciding for all 10, that's okay, because that's the way it's happened as long as we've had these road paving issues. And you're okay with that, even though you've been put upon as a landowner. And you're saying that the east side has less rights than the west side because they will have a different voting system. Different voting systems mean different kinds of rights. That's universal. Different voting systems are different rights. So you're giving them less than what we will have over here. And who's to say that we should believe you that you will actually fight for our rights in Jupiter Farms?
If you won't fight for the east side.
All right,
Who's to believe you? Believe me, I've been going to SIRWCD meetings for 15 years with petitions and signs trying to fight OJM on our roads.
okay, great. And that's what you should do. You should get everybody around to do the same thing.
No. The Board of Supervisors should listen to the people in the district.
Have they been?
No.
That's my point. You made my point. Because like I said.
Yes, sir, and you are
I'm able to see
affiliated,
both sides
and you
of
are
something.
affiliated with Mr. Berman, who sat on that board and voted against our rights for years and years, and you are affiliated
I
with...
have no business affiliation in any way whatsoever with Mr. Berman.
Okay, so it doesn't matter that the statements that you made at the last meeting were exactly the same statements he put in his email.
I'm unaware of whatever
Right?
his email was.
So, just so we know exactly who you are, Mr. Lee,
Yeah, you
you
know.
believe that the east side has less rights than ours
I
until
don't
it's
believe
convenient
that
for
you're putting
you.
words into my mouth. I never said
No.
anything about somebody having
No.
less rights.
There's got to be a time limit here. Susan?
I think Susan's made her point, but
I totally respect everything that you're saying.
I don't know that you
I don't
answered.
think you do respect what we're trying to say here, and that there are different
There's-
rights that the board has installed right now,
Can I-
and you're in favor of those different rights.
No, I disagree with that statement, and I'll give you the reason. I said under certain circumstances, because you have places where you can't get a 50% vote because you have bank foreclosures and extreme circumstances. And that's why.
Well, you can certainly make things for extreme circumstances.
Exactly my point. So.
But that's not what you said, sir.
I did. I said-
No, you basically said that you were in favor of the vote on the last SIRWCD board meeting where they changed the rules to be different for each area. Is there any more foreclosure in Palm Beach Country Estates than there is in
I
Jupiter Farms?
can't answer that question.
Well, I mean, I would
I think-
imagine probably not.
And I don't, and it also, it's not, when they vote to pave a road, the whole community doesn't vote, only the affected residents do.
That is correct.
That can be skewed depending on what the affected area is determined to be.
I agree with you on that, and I would want to get the ambiguity out of it. I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. It's a semantics thing, and I just.
However, I'm still not sure that you answered Ms. Smith's question regarding why do you want to do this?
What is your
You've already said you're giving the money back.
Right.
You've leased land out here so you can run.
Right.
Why?
When I've gone to the meetings and what I've seen, and exactly that problem, I would like to see a universal, good, fair way of voting for either side, whatever it is. And I said that. I said, I don't have that answer. I would love to have a suggestion that shows it, but something has to account for when you have properties that are either abandoned or REO'd or foreclosed, or you have small pockets where you have
So
to
as a
reverse.
candidate, your platform is, I don't know.
I represent both sides, unfair, unbiased, and I think the board hasn't been that way in the past. This is exactly what she made my point.
How well do you know your neighbors out here in Jupiter Farms?
In Jupiter Farms, I have about 15 or 20 people that I know very well, and I've been going to the meetings for a long time. I hear what you people say, and I like it out here too.
Going to which
What do you like
meetings?
about the farms?
What's that?
What do you like about Jupiter Farms?
Well, I like there's more open area as far as I'm concerned. So you have more free area. Where I lease the property, they have cattle, they have horses, all that kind of stuff. Everything's much more free to roam.
Do you like the rural side of it?
I love that side
Or
of
do you
it.
want to have it changed to more of a sophisticated?
Not at all. Like I said, I have a house over there where I want to leave my dirt road dirt over there. There's only 6 houses on the street. It's not heavily traveled. The busy road's on that side, which I happen to own a house on a busy road over there that has 100 houses on that street. It's a freeway. And I wish they would pave that road, but they're not. But I'm okay with that. That's the decision that the board made.
But what do you think about well, water, septic tanks?
I don't think Jupiter Farms, anybody out here wants that, and I wouldn't support putting it in unless everybody wanted it.
Do you
No, I
want it
mean,
over there?
I have one house connected, one house not. So,
Mike?
one house has a very good clean well. The well at my other house.
I thought in the state of Florida, when you rented it, it was law that if city water is available, you had to hook up to it.
No, we don't have it. There's more residents not hooked up.
No, I'm
Mr.
talking
Dillon.
about renting houses, not own, when you rent a house, if water's available, I thought it was by law you had to hook up to it.
I mean, I
There's
have,
no city water out here
No, I'm talking
No,
about on the
but his
east side.
property in,
in Palm Beach Country
Right.
Estate.
I'm unaware of that law if it exists. I have my real estate, I've rented and rent to other people, and I've never been made aware of it. So, Mr. Dillon probably knows more than all of us, so he can answer that.
Mike Ryan has a question.
I just wanted, your example there, that if you had 6 houses and 3 were in foreclosure, you wouldn't get a vote. And I kind of use that example on the other side. So, if somebody wanted to keep their dirt road, and it takes less people, the way it's currently set up, 2 people could get that road paved if 3 were in foreclosure or something.
Right, I agree with that. I don't like it that way either. I agree that the system is flawed. You know? Whether we come up with a better system to say, hey, we have to make contact with the vacant land, or if they get to put some, yeah, I agree with you, and I agree with Nick, but there's a problem here. And together, I would like to be helpful and be part of the solution, not part of a problem. So I made it well aware, like I said, I don't care, dirt or paint.
But so do you think that the majority of affected landowners should say yes? You made a statement on your first question with this gentleman, and you said that you think if everyone wants their road paved, and that's what I believe in,
Right.
everyone.
Oh, yeah, there's no question.
No, but I don't mean 3 or 6 out of whatever, I mean everyone. So do you believe everyone should have that everyone should?
I would love it if
say
everybody
yes?
voted, but that doesn't happen.
But they don't.
Right,
So
I would love to come up with something to
So
everybody that's been going
do
through
you at
this.
least believe that majority of the affected landowners should say yes before this road is paved?
I would say in most circumstances, but
Okay,
not 100%
so
of the
that is
time.
what Susan is
In
saying.
most.
That's what Susan is saying. is
Right,
that-
and I still
that's
stand by
the
that, in
problem,
most,
is that
not
the
always.
east side, you said, I agree with the last meeting for SIRWCD, and the last meeting SIRWCD said that it's okay. So you see
No,
what
wait,
Susan's saying?
be careful when I said I agree with the statement. What I agree with what
You
they
agree
did.
with what they did?
No, I agree that they made it different.
And that, okay, so
No, I
that's
don't
wrong.
agree with-
And if you agree with that, then you don't have my vote.
That's fine, I don't expect it if
At
that's
all.
the case.
Well, because you're saying that it's okay for them and not okay for us.
I'm saying
So
because,
it's not fair for one, but it's fair for the other.
What?
That is so wrong. That's it. Okay,
if that's
so
the way you feel, I understand that, but it's the same thing with city water. The overwhelming majority of people out here didn't want anything to do with it, and obviously there was enough people on the east side that they had, so.
Well, no, actually over on the east side, there wasn't, they are bleeding the chlorine off of that system. They were doing it for months and years.
I don't get into chemicals, I'm talking
I
about.
I want to be careful of entering the area of debate versus question and answer.
Chad, my question.
Wasn't there a 5-minute limit per candidate?
5 minutes for their speaking.
I asked
No
them
limit
to
for
limit
Q&A.
this because I.
You knew when you signed your name to
That's it.
run that this was going to happen.
I'm okay with it.
Kristen,
I understand what you're saying about the properties where there's no vote because the bank owns the property and you can't get somebody to vote.
Right.
But what I don't understand is that if you're looking for an action to happen and you're going to vote yes to make that action happen, that the majority of the properties on that street have to have that yes action. And if it's that important to somebody to have that paved, they should contact the bank, find out the information, and get a confirmation from the bank to do that.
I agree with what you're saying, and it has
I would
happened.
understand that
Yeah.
most banks would say no.
Right.
Because, or not vote at all, which should be counted as a no, because they don't want to pay any more money into that property until they unload that property.
Right.
So they don't want the taxes raised. So why shouldn't a no or non-vote count as a no vote?
That's a great point. And that's the reason why I believe the system is still flawed. And I would love to have the same
So
system
we're
for both
working
sides.
better towards that here at Jupiter Farms, but that's not how it is in Palm Beach Country Estates. And that's what Susan was saying, where if you want to be fair, it should be fair across the board.
But I don't think that it's fair to say that somebody who didn't vote voted no. I don't think that's fair either.
But you think it's fair that they voted yes?
That's my point. I think there has to be a better system.
But it's
I
not
don't know what it
action.
is.
think you need to figure out your
So no
statement.
vote would be inaction, and inaction would say no.
Palm Beach Country Estates, they changed it at the last meeting to throw us a bone, because that was predetermined before that meeting ever took place, that was going to happen. Berman put that on our Facebook page and said, blah, 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 this is what I hope to have happen. And then every single person on the board that was for that said exactly what Bob Berman had said, almost as if he had spoken to them. And
Well, he did. He was the one who tell you that.
If he said the email, then he did. I didn't get the email.
You said exactly what was in this email.
Right, well, I was at the last, I did talk with Bob Berman at the last meeting, so.
And the only reason they changed this to Jupiter Farms is to get us off their back. That's it.
What is your profession, by the way?
I'm in construction, and I work with communities, and that's the big thing that I think lends my arm to this is that I deal with committees and boards every day to try and find a middle ground that's acceptable to everybody.
So you're a
And
home
on
builder,
your-
a commercial builder, what kind of builder?
Developer.
Not a builder, no, not a developer. We do construction services, like